Hi guys, Queen of Trade here, coming to you with a new video, kind of going in a different direction. It's called Talking with Queen, and basically what I'm going to be doing is sharing with you different topics that I feel are important or interesting in talking about. So I'm going to ask that you guys leave comments, weigh in your opinion, even do response videos to the different topics that I come up with. I also have a community, a homemaker community on Google Plus, which you can go to, and I'll be sharing these same videos over there as well. Today, this is a topic that I've been thinking about for a while, something I have experienced on both sides, and just something I wanted to talk about and kind of put it out there and just see what other people feel and what they think, which is a stay-at-home mom versus a working mom. Is one better than the other, and what are the benefits? Okay, I did both. I'm currently a stay-at-home mom, and I've been a stay-at-home mom almost 2 years now, and believe me, it's a big adjustment when you're coming from the work world to staying home. A lot of it is just your ego, your pride, you just feeling feeling that people are looking at you funny because you did work and then you stopped. And I'm sure it felt the same way as a working mom. When I was married, which I am married, I've been married for 13 years. I have two lovely children, two little boys. One is 7 and one is 4. And prior to having children, working was okay because, when you're married and you're working, it's cool. But when you start to have children, that's when you start to get pressure. People maybe saying stuff to you and maybe they're not, but people do say stuff to you. They don't always mean in a negative way, and sometimes they do. What are you going to do? Are you going to stay home now? Blah, blah, blah. That's always a question. So when I got married, which was like in 2001, at that time, I chose to work. I continued to work for several years after that. But once I had my children, I decided to go back to work and continue, being a working mom. Well, around, I would say 2011, 2012, a big life change came about. I started having problems with high blood pressure, which I didn't have before. The job I had was very, very stressful. It was a really time-oriented human service job, which if you work for human services, you don't make a lot of money and you work very hard. I worked with people with disabilities for about 16 years in that field, in all facets of the field. And it's a lot of giving. I love that job because it was rewarding, because you help people who needed the help. The thing of it is, I felt like I was helping so much that I wasn't helping my particular family. So that became an issue. It weighs on your marriage with the two people working different shifts. It weighs on your children. My kids just knew me as, Mom, you always work and you always going to work. And then on the weekends, I was exhausted. I was tired. I just really wanted to rest. I didn't really want to do so much, but I was just so overwhelmed. And as moms, a lot of times we overdo it. We don't like to admit that maybe we're taking on more than we can. And guess what? When you're married, you have to maintain your marriage. It's just not get the paperwork and we live together and it's that. You have to maintain and keep your husband happy. And you know what? My husband is kind of like the old school style, and he likes to have dinner and he likes to eat together. And cooking is not what he really wants to do unless he feels like it. So, which is not bad on his behalf, because why are you a wife if you don't want to cook? That doesn't make sense. Or a mom. You have to do it. We have to eat. So at that time, I made a decision. Stressed out, trying to pay a mortgage. I lived in New Jersey. It's very expensive living in New Jersey. And when you got bills, you don't have time to think about much else but how to get that check to get those bills paid. My husband had a pretty good job. So did I. But guess what? I wasn't feeling happy. I didn't feel like my kids were as happy. Someone else was taking care of my kids who had an influence over this everyday things. People, I noticed they were picking up things that I necessarily may have not wanted them to. And I'm not saying they weren't good things that they were picking up, but with that being said, I had no control over what was being fed to my children on a daily basis. Then my oldest son was about to start school. So that became another issue. What am I going to do? How am I going to get him to school? How am I going to get him home? Who's going to be here? Who's going to be able to put that time in with him? When I know that I wasn't able to if I'm working from like around 6, 7 a.m. to like 6, 7 p.m. most weekdays. So I made a decision, which was a sacrifice, to decide to stay at home. That worked for me. May not work for someone else, but it perfectly worked out for me. Sometimes I believe in life that God leads us to certain points for us to make decisions, and sometimes we ignore it. And when you ignore it, life has a way of showing you which path you need to take. So the path for me was to stop working, move to Georgia, which we did, and become a stay-at-home mom. Which, what I will say is, the benefits of working was I had more money, I could do more things. But when I was a working mom, I didn't have time to do anything, and I was tired. That's the benefits to me that I got from being a working mom. I was able to help my husband financially. He only had to have one job, but of course we still had more than one job. He had more than one job. That's just how he is. But that was the benefits, that I was able to bring more finances into the home. The downside of it was I didn't have time for my husband. I was so exhausted. I didn't have time for the kids. I wasn't giving them the quality of life that they should have had. Being a stay-at-home mom, I will say this. Since I became a stay-at-home mom, I'm off of blood pressure pills because I was so stressed. You know, we all have our things that we can do and we're good at, and I love people, and that is my niche. But when you have deadlines and things that have to be done in a timely fashion, that did not work for me. I became very stressful. I started having issues with my job, and I just started to hate my job after that. So I said all of that to say, nobody should have anything to say about a mom who stays home or a mom who goes to work. Because at the end of the day, we all are moms, and we all are doing the best that we feel for our children. For me, I went from a working mom to a stay-at-home mom. And guess what? It's a lot of challenges being a stay-at-home mom, I'm finding. And the main one is putting aside your personal feelings, your maybe insecurities, and your judgments that you feel that people have on you. Because, you know, people do look at you a little sideways when you meet people and you say, oh, hi, how are you? Hi, you know, we just meeting, and they're saying, well, what do you do? Oh, I'm a stay-at-home mom. And a lot of times you get the cricket sound in the background where people are just looking like, oh, you stay at home, so, you know, what do you do at home? That's annoying. What do I do? The same things that you do when you're on your days off, but I just do it every single day. So, you know, I clean, cook, but I do way more than that. I make sure that everybody in my home is happy, and I have so much more time for my husband. I have more patience for my kids. Don't get me wrong. It is a downside to being a stay-at-home mom. You don't get a break. You don't have vacation. You don't get sick days. Trust me, it's not easy. But neither is it easy to be a working mom and a working wife. See, for me, I don't just give a little, I give my all. So it's hard to give 100% to work, 100% to your marriage, 100% to your children. Something is going to lack. And when you're working, most times it's going to be your family, because guess what? The demand that comes from your job is a lot of times more of a demand that comes from your family, until your husband gets tired of it. And then he starts to give his opinion on it. And your children start to say stuff like, Mom, you're never here. We never do nothing. We're never with you. We miss you. We want to be with you. So, hey, it's up to you what you choose, how you choose. All I say is be more kind to others, and moms, be more kind to other moms, no matter what decision that they're making. Don't judge each other. There's no reason for that. We should be supporting each other. We should be going the complete opposite. Instead of judging, support. With that being said, that's the end of my video for today. As I said throughout this video, at the top, you see a little picture of me. Click on that, because that's my subscribe button. Leave a comment comment your opinions of what you feel about this video, if you liked it or not, and also leave your likes or dislikes. Until next time, I'm signing off, Queen of Trades. Bye, guys.